welcome to a special Watchtower episode of Superhero Cinema Club. Today we're going to be discussing just a few topical issues in the superhero world, like Spider-Man Brand New Day box office records, our first reaction to the Doomsday trailer, and of course the big X-Men casting news. My name is Mark Schiff, and joining me as always, it's the Jon Stewart to my Hal Jordan. It's Mike Carnes.
Mark, I don't always agree with what you do, but I do respect you.
No one's going to take this ring from me. You get it? Not while I'm still alive.
Whatever, old man.
We're going to be giving some first reactions to Lanterns at the end of the episode as well, so stick around for that. But first off, Mike, Brand New Day. What a sensation.
Boy, were we wrong.
We were so wrong. I'm extremely humbled for listeners who checked out our first reactions to Brand New Day. Mike and I both predicted, because I looked it up, you actually gave a specific number. You said $950 million.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of agreed with that. And that I didn't actually give a specific figure. So I actually saved a little bit of egg on my face on that one, I guess. But in any event,
I was going prices right there. I was trying to come in under. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You did very well, Mike, because that literally crossed. I checked it out today and verified. It crossed $950 million on Monday, August 3rd.
Jeez.
By the weekend after we recorded our episode, it had already blown past our predictions. Now, it opened as the biggest opening of all time in America. It's an all-time new record.
That's amazing.
There are a lot of things to talk about with that, and I've got some data points, but I think the very first thing we got to toss out there, right? I think in my mind, I might have had Batman as the ultimate film solo superhero, until this movie. It's now, I think it's Spider-Man, right?
Well, what do you mean by ultimate? Are we talking box office numbers, or are we just talking about like quality of movies, quantity of movies?
It's actually a very good distinction. I guess it would just be like, aliens or whatever, metaphor. You can only show them one superhero franchise. Which one are you showing? Is it Batman or Spider-Man? I think those were the two clear winners. I think most people would agree, right?
Yeah, I would go Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy as my alien film.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth debating. So I actually looked up some data points here. And here's the debate between Batman and Spider-Man. This is really what it kind of comes down to. Spider-Man films have outgrossed Batman films by nearly $4 billion. If you look at the total global gross, Spider-Man has made, at this point, $10.5 billion. Batman has made $6.8 billion, so about $7 billion.
Okay.
The highest grossing is obviously Spider-Man, and the second highest grossing, the highest grossing now, because it just crossed $2 billion, I believe today or maybe yesterday. But it's over $2 billion. It has surpassed No Way Home now.
Right. It's one of 10 movies ever to cross $2 billion.
It's wild. So number 2 is No Way Home at $1.92 billion. And the leader for Batman, The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
$1.08 billion. So it just crossed $1 billion.
Might have been a little bit of morbid curiosity with that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, to an extent. Although also it was like, it was going to be a huge movie. I mean, the other Batman, I think, was just short. Dark Knight was just short of $1 billion. We'll talk about that in a minute. Lowest grossing film, because I think this is a good data point too, is like when it bottoms out, what's the worst it will ever do? It's actually Into the Spider-Verse, and that still made $384 million. The first Into the Spider-Verse, like they made a sequel to that movie, was successful enough. So I wouldn't say that movie was not successful. Batman, I think you can probably guess this one.
Batman and Robin?
Correct. 238. This is another thing that's just astounding. I think, Mike, we came into this podcast at a time when superhero films were on a major downturn. Our very first episode, first season was about Superman, leading up to last summer. Superman last year was not great at the box office, 2025.
Right.
You had, I would argue, Marvel MCU bottoming out with Captain America, Brave New World.
I still haven't seen that movie.
You still haven't seen it. I wouldn't say watch it. It's rough, bro.
The Disney Instagram put it on their Like,
should watch.
the homework list. Yeah.
You probably should because of it's recent, but like it's not good at all. Thunderbolts was creatively successful in my opinion, not a box office success, or at least not to the expectations they thought. And then we both loved Superman. I would say loved. I'm definitely in that camp now. A year later, I would say I love that movie, and I think it's not maybe classic, but it's great in my opinion. It is a great superhero film. Fantastic Four. I would say it's not bad. And it's better than okay. It's spoiler alert for season 49 of Superhero Cinema Club. I think it's good. I really like the production design on it.
Agreed. It's good production design. I think it's okay. Pedro Pascal is bored out of his mind in that movie.
Not a great look for Pedro in that one, despite I think both of us being fans of his.
Oh, absolutely.
And to me, the most disappointing part about it was that it didn't do anything to set up Dr. Doom, who's obviously the villain, that's associated with them. And like, you have a Doomsday movie that's already been announced. I certainly felt like that was going to start laying some track, and it didn't lay any track.
No, there's the little stinger at the
very tiniest stinger is all we've seen Doom canonically, right? Talked about that before. So not great. Last year was not great for superhero films, and that was it. There was no Christmas release. There was no nothing. So it was very much felt after Supergirl did not do well and was a pretty big flop. I mean, maybe the biggest flop of the summer.
Yeah, probably. I haven't watched that one either yet.
I haven't watched it in full, but let's say I started it and was not particularly enthralled. I felt like the media, a lot of film snob media specifically, was throwing all the dirt on the grave of superhero films after Supergirl flopped. I felt that there was some relishing of its failure at the box office, and it seemed like people were almost glad because this is such an early entry point into the DCU, like kill this in its crib. You know what I mean? Like from a certain corner of film media.
That was part of the reason why I was so shocked to see Spider-Man do so well, is because there was that whole conversation that had been happening for years that everybody has superhero fatigue. Superhero fatigue is a real thing. Nobody cares about superheroes anymore. Clearly they do. It's the 10th highest grossing movie of all time, Spider-Man. And I probably listened too much to that superhero fatigue conversation, which is one of the reasons why I said 950 million. Happy to be wrong. I love Tom Holland Spider-Man, and if he's going to keep making money, I think that he's a great version of that character. I definitely want to see more out of that, more out of Tom Holland's Peter Parker. I just hope that it's not quite as boring. I still stand by that. That movie's pretty boring from my one-time seeing it with you in the theater, my memory of that. Hey, man, like if they can keep doing it, then good on them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think we need to rewatch it, and obviously part of the reason why we're going back in time is that it gives you, we have the time perspective to look at things and how they fit in now that, decades have passed, and context is always important like that, right? So if you have an instant reaction, that's not always the same as the second time you watch it. And I do actually have quite a good feeling about this film on rewatch compared especially to No Way Home, which has a pretty negative sentiment as far as rewatchability, I would say. It's a whole thing on the internet about how No Way Home is not very rewatchable. I can see the points that they make. I think this one actually could be the opposite, where it's better when we rewatch it. Okay. So I think there's a couple other data points as far as Batman versus Spider-Man, but I think this debate is settled, okay? Average gross per film, I think, is a good metric. $950 million per Spider-Man movie. And Batman is $680 million. Now, like, it's insane that a franchise averages almost $700 million per movie.
Right.
And it's like, that's a second play. Like, you got to do better. Step up your game, Batman. Like, it's unbelievable. And actually, this is an interesting data point too. Domestic opening records. So each time a movie was released, it became a first new gross, the highest grossing weekend of all time.
It broke its own record.
Which Brand New Day did, this time too.
Yeah.
3 times for Spider-Man. Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 3, and Spider-Man No Way Home.
Okay.
And now, actually, so I guess it is 4 times.
It's 4
now.
times,
Yeah, now Batman, also 4 times. Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we talked about that.
All 3 of those set new opening weekend records. And the last one?
Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight,
Yeah,
2008. Yeah. So, like I said, at the end of the day, you kind of, the numbers speak for themselves. The Spider-Man is clearly the higher grossing, and I would say the definitive cinematic superhero. Here's some data points specifically about Spider-Man that just, the thing that they kind of missed with Supergirl as their example is that she's B-tier superhero at best, maybe even C-tier, honestly.
It's funny because she's as powerful as Superman.
Right.
Basically, but yeah, she's considered as a character to be lesser than.
I don't mean that as any disrespect. And I don't know the DC universe like I know Marvel as far as the comics, but like she to me has just never seemed like one of the most popular characters in DC. Like, you know,
I'd agree with that. She's not. I mean, again, and that comes from her just basically being another version of Superman.
Superman, but girl.
We already have that.
Yeah.
It's Superman.
Yeah. Supergirl is one thing. Like Spider-Man is something else. And so here's all the records, okay? Spider-Man was the original in 2002. First $100 million weekend in box office history.
That's amazing.
It's gross as the all-time highest domestic grossing film, beating Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So at the time of its release, it was the biggest domestic movie of all time. Single day record as well, $43 million in one day. And it was the fastest film to cross $100 million. It crossed it in 3 days. That's what's funny. In 2002, Spider-Man crossed 100 million in 3 days. In 2026, Spider-Man Brand New Day crossed $1 billion, and it did, Mike. The data said it didn't just pass 950 on Monday.
Yeah.
It was the highest grossing Monday of all time.
Can we adjust for inflation from 2002 money?
It's a fair point. Definitely a fair point, but it's nevertheless really, really astonishing. As far as Spider-Man 2 box office records, it set the biggest Wednesday ever at 40 million, and it was the biggest July 4th holiday movie of all time. They counted it as a 5-day weekend.
Of all time? More than Independence Day?
Well, so they counted it as a 5-day. So like,
okay, well,
that is a huge
Hollywood
asterisk.
accounting.
Yeah, that's a huge asterisk. But nevertheless, I mean, it made $152 million in 5 days. Pretty good returns. Spider-Man 3, now this is the one we just said. All-time opening record, reclaiming the title after apparently it had lost it at some point. $151 million in opening weekend. That stood for a while, if I remember correctly. I think Spider-Man 3 had that record for a long time.
Yeah, it did.
The single highest day of all time at $59.8 million, made $60 million in a day. And then the highest worldwide opening of all time at the time, $381 million. I didn't mention it before, but I should have. A big part of the reason why Spider-Man beats Batman at the box office is international gross.
I was thinking that too, yeah.
Spider-Man plays in international markets in a way that Batman doesn't. And I think that is a little bit telling because I think Batman is in some ways a kind of a quintessentially American character in that like his parents have been murdered, which isn't like a super common thing. I mean, obviously Spider-Man has a similar problem in that his parents were never around and then his uncle and surrogate father is murdered.
Right.
But nevertheless, you know, I don't know. I just think there's something about Gotham City that feels American. Spider-Man's in New York. New York is a real city in real America. Maybe I'm talking out of the side of my mouth here. It just, I don't know. I feel like there's maybe a universality with Spider-Man in New York that other people want to see. Maybe it is cultural tourism to them.
I know if we've got some New York listeners out there, they're screaming at you right now because they all thoroughly believe that Gotham is a stand-in for New York, which is fine. I personally disagree, but we can table that conversation. But I think for Spider-Man specifically, it might have something to do with like, wasn't there an Indian Spider-Man and a Japanese Spider-Man TV show back in the 70s? So like,
for sure there was Japanese one.
So they had an inherent audience built up
internationally,
to be, you know, more susceptible to a Spider-Man movie that would dominate domestic or internationally.
Yeah, you may be right. I don't know. I might be overthinking it, but in any event, I mean, the fact is, like, worldwide audiences love Spider-Man, and that's been a huge part of the $2 billion gross too. You know, yeah. I mean, there's records for literally all of the movies, even the animated ones, which were just big titles for Sony Animation, but. at the end of the day, the story we're talking about today is Spider-Man Brand New Day, and like it's bonkers.
Kevin Feige has secured his future with Disney Marvel for the next 10 years, I think, with this thing.
The irony is the Disney executives are kind of pissed because they're like, this is the biggest movie and you're delivering for Sony. We're getting a cut of it. I think they get, is it 50-50?
I have no idea.
But they're not getting all of it, right? And so it is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Like Disney's getting a cut of a Sony hit, technically. So that's one way to look at it. But on the other hand, it's like, especially considering the box office returns of recent Marvel movies, which have been maybe underperforming, arguably. There's got to be a couple executives that are greedy and bitter right now. I don't know.
Like
I think, Mike, as far as the film itself and the reception to it, one of the interesting things to me is if you look at our comments on both our Spotify as well as social channels, it's real divisive.
Yeah.
I think that like the fan response to this movie has been a little bit split, and you and I were kind of down the middle on it. I'm not sure how many people are kind of in our camp of like, yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. Like, I feel that there's a lot more like, this is the best Spider-Man movie ever, or like, shout out to my homie Jose, like, I hate this movie. I hated it so much. I hate everything about it, and I hate the new Spider-Man. I mean, and he's not alone. I've seen some really critical reviews in the press and even from fans when we walked out. I felt like that. Yeah.
As soon as we walked out, you said there was a lot of grumbling, especially from that post-credit scene.
Yeah, I mean, the post-credit grumbling is understandable because it's like nothing and you sit around for 5 minutes and it's like, that was anticlimactic. But again,
we surveyed people and
they were big on it. Yeah, the people that we asked straight up. And they were like, yeah, it was great.
Yep.
And I thought it was telling too. It was two guys that were huge Spider-Man fans and they brought their girlfriends or female friends with them. And they were both like, we don't really go, but we will go to Spider-Man.
Right.
That was really interesting too, right? Like
True.
Even they were like, I don't go to every superhero movie, but if it's Spider-Man, like I'll check it out. I like Spider-Man.
Yeah, they're not going to Shang-Chi too, probably.
Exactly. Amen, brother. So I thought that was like kind of an interesting story about this. And like I said, only time will tell if this movie gets better on rewatch, if it gets worse, how we feel about it 5 years from now even. Yeah, I mean, it is. I do feel at the time. I'd love to hear any comments, on this episode or on our social channels. Like, let us know what you think, because it does feel kind of divisive to me. I think really the last big storyline here with Spider-Man is just like the incredible summer that Tom Holland and Zendaya are having.
Oh my God, legendary run right now.
I actually think, Mike, they might be in contention for just the happiest people on planet Earth in 2026.
We're filthy rich and super popular. Yeah.
And they got married. They also got married. Celebrate their wedding with the incredible success, both financially and creatively, of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. We'll do a quick tangent. Both of us loved it.
Oh, masterpiece. I thought it was a masterpiece. Again, I've only seen it the one time, but I was completely blown away walking out of the theater that day.
Remind me, did you see IMAX or not?
IMAX 70 millimeter, baby.
So you did see the IMAX.
Our local Colorado IMAX notoriously broke twice. The projector broke twice. I happened to see it right in the sweet spot between both times of it breaking, where it was functional. So I was fortunate enough to see it in 70 millimeter, and it was incredible. I was completely blown away.
I mean, next year we will be doing the Dark Knight trilogy, in our schedule as far as, going chronologically. So we're real close to getting into Christopher Nolan season, and I cannot wait, bro. I think he has the belt for the best active filmmaker right now. I really do say that. Now, my friend, shout out to my buddy Andy, I said this to him yesterday, and he was like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, who is it? And he said Bong Joon-ho. Bong's on a run.
That's my guy right there. I love Bong.
I mean, these are fun debates to have, right? Because they're just all such incredible filmmakers. But I do think that, I don't know, he's being a bit of contrarian because, Christopher Nolan, in terms of when you go box office result to creative execution, right? Those, two metrics, who's shooting higher than he is? Right
now? The metrics on his...
It's incredible.
On his box office comparatively to his
I thought Oppenheimer was also a masterpiece. And I think he's got 4 or 5 in his filmography. I mean, he's an unbelievable filmmaker. So they get that one, and now it's like, oh, Hold My Beer, Odyssey. The two of us in our signature franchise, because they're both supporting roles in the Odyssey.
Right.
This is their chance to take the lead, and it's like, we're gonna make the biggest movie of all time. It's gonna come down to this and Endgame, and it seems like we're now 3 weeks in, man. It seems like it's staying. Like they're picking it to be number one again this week.
There are only 8 movies in history, not 10, 8 movies that have crossed the $2 billion mark. We talked about one of them, Spider-Man Brand New Day. You just mentioned Endgame. Can you name the other 6?
I think I can, actually.
Okay.
I've been looking at this kind of data. Avatar.
Yep.
Avatar 2.
Yep.
So we're at 4.
Yep.
Spider-Man No Way Home. Endgame. And since we're counting those. Brand New Day, Endgame, No Way Home. Both Avatars. Aquaman.
No.
It didn't make $1 billion?
It did not make $2 billion.
Oh, $2 billion.
Yeah.
Oh. Infinity War?
Yes.
So now we're at 6.
You got 2 more.
Top Gun Maverick.
No.
Wow, it's short. Okay.
You're not going to guess one of them at all.
Yeah, just give me the last 2.
Force Awakens.
Of course.
Which was, if you recall, a fucking monster.
It was a huge phenomenon. It actually has the title for highest grossing domestic. It's not Endgame.
Okay.
It's Force Awakens.
And then I've never even heard of this movie. Ni Jia 2?
Oh, this is the Chinese movie.
Okay.
Yeah, and they released it. It was funny. I think A24 licensed it for America.
Wow.
And like no one saw it in America, but it made basically $2 billion. And
that's incredible.
I don't know if there were other countries that, helped it too, but like it was a smash in China. It's the biggest movie of all time in China. So that's why it's...
I gotta see it.
Yeah. Congratulations, Tom. And, actually, Mike, I've been told that they do listen to this podcast. Like, I know that there's a bunch of industry people that are like into Superhero Cinema Club. So Tom and Zendaya, I know you guys are listening. Mike and I are both through the moon for you guys. You're lovely actors. Zendaya, I've already said the drama is my number one movie of 2026 so far. So
good for her. Ultimate power couple here for us today. They're like the new Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. So
let's go. Now let's talk about the new Doomsday trailer, Mike. I think both of us, well, I'll speak for myself. I was very underwhelmed with the first one, especially relative to first reactions to Infinity War trailer, which is kind of the equivalent with the, 2-part Avenger movie thing.
Yep.
This new one I thought was way, way better. And yeah, it made me a lot more excited. What did you think?
I actually thought the first trailer was pretty good. And then I, started hearing some people grumbling about it. And I was like, okay, I can kind of see their points. It is really just a lot of characters looking at each other. And then we get like one line from Thor. And then that's kind of it. And it made me worried the more I started thinking about it. Like, is this movie just going to be like, well, who are you? And what the heck is an X-Man? And that kind of stuff, like,
totally.
So I was starting to get a little worried. But then this trailer dropped, and it seems to be focused on the character of Doom, which started making me think about how Infinity War is really Thanos' movie. He's the main character of that movie. And so I'm wondering if they're going to do a similar thing here. This is going to be Doom's movie. Obviously, the movie is freaking called Doomsday, so it would make sense to do that. But yeah, I mean, both trailers got me excited, and I'm looking forward to the battle between Doomsday and Dune Part 3 in theaters coming out this December. I'm really interested to see what happens with that.
I think we've already called it. It's already been dubbed Doomsday.
Yeah, it's Doomsday.
Yeah, it's Doomsday.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the official name. Yeah.
But I did see Dune, I think, moved up a couple days now.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Interesting. Okay.
So,
but it's still the same weekend. It
right.
doesn't, they're going head to head, and that's a good thing for movie theaters. And I'm completely excited about that too. I think we actually might have to do like a bonus episode on Dune 3 first reactions as well, because both of us are huge fans of the first two. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I actually think that this movie is I think now after seeing this trailer, it's going to be a movie that is a Doctor Doom movie with the Avengers as a supporting cast. Probably a good idea, honestly. And given Robert Downey Jr.'s talents as an actor, as well as the necessity of it, because I did hear, I think it was someone like it was Feige maybe, or I don't know, someone in Marvel was basically saying like to this point of like you have not introduced Doom really to build up to him to have this crossover event like you did with Thanos. They were like, oh, Thanos, when he really added up, he's only in like 5 minutes of everything before.
True.
And like that might be true, but at the same time, you have Gamora as his daughter, who is completely as a character shaped by her relationship to Thanos and her trauma in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 before that, right? Like, I think his impression was already on the MCU more than, yes, it was only 5 minutes, but it was like his weight and his gravity as a character was already felt.
It's not only that, but we have 20 movies centered around the Infinity Stones, the Tesseract and all the other.
Exactly.
Everything that's happening through the course of these movies is influential to introducing that character. We don't have any of that with Doom, at least as far as to my knowledge. Like, maybe
the Infinity Stones of this, it's the multiverse,
sure.
Right? That's what it is. And like, but that's been the problematic part, right? Is I think maybe there's some psychos out there that are like, multiverse is better than phase 1, actually. But I don't think anyone is going to be like, the best Marvel stuff is post-Endgame. Like, it's just, the multiverse saga has been, should we just call it disappointing? I think you can use that word fairly. I don't know.
It's just kind of, I kind of appreciate the fact that it's like, oh, we can do anything we want now. We have complete carte blanche with creativity with the multiverse. Cool. Show me something cool.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show me something cool.
Yeah.
Like Doctor Strange kind of got there a little bit with like, oh, we got this different version of Fantastic Four. We got, the other Professor X come in. We got Captain Carter, blah, blah, blah. Great. They were in it for 10 minutes and they all got killed off.
Right.
So we haven't really seen the benefits of what they could be doing with the multiversal story.
Well said, brother. I couldn't agree more. Maybe we will see that in this movie. I think we will, actually. I'm hopeful. Now, the big concern trolling out there is around the accent, Mike. It's kind of weird because I feel like when I watched the trailers, I wasn't really, honestly, like I wasn't consciously registering that voice. Like I was like, it just was kind of like, is this a narrator or is it, you know what I mean? Like I didn't understand entirely. So
yeah,
when it's like pointed out to me that like, no, this is going to be the accent that he's using and it's this like Eastern European thing. And there's a lot of, it does feel like there's legit concern around it. I don't know. I'm fine with it. Like Dr. Doom kind of has to do it, right? Or
is it Latvian or Latverian? Latvian, right?
Latveria is the name of the country that he runs. Yeah, I'm like 90% sure it's pronounced Latveria.
Right.
So
okay, it did remind me a little bit. I actually have a distinct memory of you when Iron Man 2 comes out. And you were talking about Mickey Rourke's accent. You're like,
yeah,
Tony Stark.
yeah.
It did remind me a little bit of that. So.
But here's the problem, man. Accents have failed some of our greatest actors. Tom Hanks, there's like a whole rule. If Tom Hanks is doing an accent in a movie, it's bad. But
the Terminal.
The Terminal and the Elvis movie? The Elvis movie, I really enjoyed it. And I was like, Tom Hanks, what the hell is going on here, bro? Like, please stop. Like, Robert Downey Jr., hell of an actor, going Eastern European. Like, now this also could be literally a Sonic the Hedgehog eyes situation where they're getting real-time feedback from fans on the accent. And because literally Doom is wearing a mask, you can like ADR this entire role. You can dub you can dub him up until the end. They could be recording his dialogue in some new accent. You know what I mean? Like, so
it's the Bane IMAX, preview that they where they're like,
oh really? Is that what happened?
The opening scene of Dark Knight Rises, where Bane, like the audiences were like, we can't understand Bane at all. When they demoed it.
Right, I remember that. Yeah,
I think you saw it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
and so they went back after the IMAX feedback and completely like changed his voice ADR. I don't think they re-recorded lines, but they just like pitched down, the amount of like reverb or whatever in his voice. So
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Again, like, I don't know, man. Trailers and this stuff. If you look at Infinity War specifically, they had the Hulk. Remember that? The Hulk was like in a suit or something.
No, Yeah.
They had that one last shot at the end of the trailer that was not in the movie because the Hulk was in it, and that was a whole subplot in the film itself. So
They're so notorious for doing this, though.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like they wrong. Like I've heard so much complaints about like this looks like just terrible CGI garbage. It's just empty blank void space. And it's like, well, maybe that scene has actually got a whole bunch of stuff going on in it. Like Spider-Man No Way Home did this as well.
Yes,
they had the one shot. They literally just took out the other Spider-Mans. And then when you watch the movie, it was like they're all there. So they're not dumb. They know how scrutinized these trailers are going to be. They're going to be selective about it. They're going to do certain things. And I'm worried because there hasn't been this buildup for the character itself. And I was alarmed by the lack of Doctor Doom, as I just said, in Fantastic Four, as well as even No Way Home. We both brought it up. Like, I thought this would at least set up something, and it really doesn't at all. So, to be fair, Spider-Man, because it's a Sony property, has to kind of operate on its own timeline relative to the MCU that's like could be slightly different at times. They went through with the multiverse movie, even though Marvel was pushing back their multiverse plans and things like that. So their timing for release schedule is not always in sync with the regular Disney MCU, I would say. Nevertheless, it'll be interesting to see how this goes because you got to do a Doctor Doom origin story movie, and that's what it looked like it's going to be.
It was really interesting with his absence in Brand New Day because Peter Parker was Tony Stark's protege, so it's going to be an interesting dynamic when he sees Doom without the mask on. It's like, oh my God, you're back, you're alive, you're this guy that I worshipped and idolized, and now you're the villain of our biggest, movie post Endgame. So I thought there was going to be a little bit more something, like not that they would show us Robert Downey Jr.'s face or anything, but there would be maybe something to indicate that Spider-Man would be involved somehow with Doomsday. Spider-Man also noticeably very absent in both Doomsday trailers so far. So is he even going to be in it, or are they just going to seed him until Secret Wars?
My guess is that he will be like Hawkeye. He won't be a part of Doomsday, but he's going to be a huge part in Secret Wars.
Sure.
And in fact, I almost wonder if you may have just inadvertently figured out the ending to Secret Wars, where it's like there's some kind of mass conflict and like how it is.
There's
in
another
the comics.
snap.
Well, I mean that if you've read the Secret Wars comics, which I know you have, Battle World is what they set up, right? So with all of them in conflict on there and figuring it all out and kind of regaining their memories, etc.
He's like Desmond in Lost, where he's the first one to regain the memories.
Maybe by seeing his face.
Interesting.
If he gets Doom's mask off and sees his face and then like regains the memories from like, oh wait, like he used to look like that, or so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Very excited though. And of course, we got to talk about the X-Men casting as well. This is big news, Mike, having just finished our God-ordained X-Men to Spider-Man crossover. That really is. Shout outs to God.
Yeah, my boy God.
My boy God. Shouting it out. You guided us right down this path, this Spider-Man Brand New Day. But we met one of the X-Men, obviously, in that movie with Jean Grey and
spoilers.
Sadie Sink. I mean, come on.
Everybody knows now. If you're listening to this podcast, you know.
If I just spoiled it, literally leave a comment because you're the truest sicko of all. Again, shout out to my guy, Jose, who was saying he loves the term raw dogging it, and he's just been raw dogging the podcast without watching the movies.
I insist we change that term.
No, if you listen to our podcast without rewatching, you're raw dogging it. It's just that simple. We just did the X-Men season. We talked a lot about the casting at that time. So now we've got some new actors stepping into the role, which will, in some cases, be the third time you have an actor playing this character on film. So we got to start at the top. Professor X, Christopher Abbott. I think I texted you that I think he has kind eyes. Didn't I say that? I said, Christopher Abbott, shout out to you. You got kind eyes, man. You really do. I think somewhat of a surprising choice for Professor X in that, You're not like a bald guy like Patrick Stewart that looks exactly like Professor X, and you're just like, okay, that's clearly Professor X
Right.
if you're going to cast it. No one will ever dethrone our king, Patrick Stewart, as the definitive Professor X on film just because he was born to play that role,
Absolutely.
as you said. But I think it's good, and I'm interested to see it. I hope they do go with a bald look throughout. I know it was a little controversial with McAvoy hair decisions in the various X-Men films. What do you think, Mike? You like him?
I don't really know him. I'm looking through his IMDb right now. I've seen It Comes at Night, but I don't have a recollection of him in being in that movie. I see he's in your Super Jam, Poor Things.
He is.
I didn't get through that movie far enough.
He's extremely cruel in
Okay.
that movie. Yeah,
Okay.
He's the villain for sure.
A Kind Eyes, who's very cool. Very cruel. Okay. So I don't know. I mean, I will reserve judgment, obviously, but I hope he does a great job in the role. It looks like they're going for a younger version of Professor X here, which is fine. We need some new blood. So
I think what's kind of nice is like McAvoy, I think was like late 20s, early 30s maybe when they cast him. Christopher Abbott's like 40 plus. Like he's, he's like, so it's kind of an age that we haven't seen of Professor X,
Okay.
So that's exciting. And I think he's a very talented actor. I really think he'll do a good job. I'm excited for it. Let's talk about Indy Navarrete as Rogue. Mike.
I love it.
This is incredible. This
Great
feels
casting.
like a coup to me, right? I'm serious. Like, Obsession is the breakout hit of 2026. I mean, it's an incredible film. Highest recommendation if you haven't seen it. Mike and I both really loved it. I think
That was good, yeah.
Yeah, there's, it's got some flaws, but in general, it's just so original. And I think specifically, she's phenomenal in this film.
She
Mike.
really is, yeah.
She actually could get an Oscar nomination and maybe win, just the way the weird Oscars are giving out trophies to, horror movies, and
See more of that, yeah.
shout out to Weapons last year. So yeah, this is a really good coup. And I think as far as comic casting, I love it.
I do too. She's really good for Rogue. I can totally picture her with the blonde streak in her hair and, the short little brown leather jacket and calling me sugar. Like, it makes me very excited. So-
I want like 10% less Southern accent than the animated series Rogue, because I feel like she's so good at doing that particular voice. But like, you got to dial it back a little.
Right.
That being said, physically she resembles her. And the other thing about Rogue, we talked about it in the X-Men season, her powers are kind of horrifying. It's really scary to be Rogue. You actually can't make physical contact with anyone, or you will like suck their life force from them. It's tough. Like any power set that you touch and absorb, you have that power set. It lends itself very well to cool stuff in movies. But in terms of the character of Rogue, that's a tough spot to be in. I think she's going to be up to the task. We also got Samara Weaving as Emma Frost. Mike.
Also great casting, I think.
Incredible casting. Let's go. So if you haven't seen
Ready or Not.
Yes, that's the one. Really good movie. Very entertaining, fun, kind of horror comedy. And then like surprisingly horrific at times too. Like it's a very surprising movie. They made a sequel to it. I have not seen the sequel yet. Have you seen it, Mike?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
She's also in 3 Billboards.
Oh, she is in 3 Billboards, a film that both of us love.
Absolutely.
Excellent actress. She's, I believe, Hugo Weaving's niece.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. I'm stoked.
I'm interested to see what version of Emma Frost they go for here.
So am I.
If they're going evil or good, because there's always the distinction between.
She is a really compelling character.
Yeah.
I talked about wanting Black Cat in the Spider-Man movie because she's kind of good and evil and uses her seduction as part of her superpower set. That's Emma Frost too, right? She's very seductive, very, maybe I'm with you, maybe I'm against you, but I'm always for myself, And I think Weaving is a great actress that can pull that off. I also am just looking for an improvement on she turns into a diamond effect, because we both were extremely disappointed with how they did that on January Jones in the last one. I wanted to see her a good diamond, Emma Frost. Interestingly, they kind of cast a couple unknowns, at least to the two of us, for Storm and Cyclops. Kit Connor, let's start with him. I have not watched the show Heartthrob. That's apparently what he's best known for.
Is it Heartstopper?
Heartstopper, that's it. Heartstopper. I saw a picture of him and I was like, cool.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it too. I don't recognize anything that he's been in. I've not seen Heartstoppers. Yeah, he looks the part.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like, what was the guy who played Cyclops in Dark Phoenix?
Ty Sheridan.
He kind of looks similar to that.
Yeah.
So, which, you know, you're going to get a normal looking white boy to play Cyclops. Like, great.
You need a good all-American dude to play Cyclops.
That's a good point.
That's the kind of traditional casting. Marsden obviously has that good Prince Charming look. He literally played Prince Charming. This guy looks like he could do that too. So
yeah.
And then you have Maya Boyd as Storm. So again, I've never seen her before. Apparently she's mostly been a theater actress. I'm not sure how many film or TV credits she has, but looking at some pictures of her, looks like she's going to be a good Storm. Definitely, Halle Berry as Storm, we both talked about it. I think more than anything, she was just really underwritten in those films. Unfortunately, she's obviously a tremendously talented actress. She won an Oscar between X-Men 1 and X-Men 2. So it was like they could have used her so much better. Similarly, I think in the prequels, I think I may have said something along the lines of like, this is the number one character I'm looking for them to fix in the upcoming movies because she's so powerful. She's such an interesting character. They never have gotten into her backstory as far as being like an African queen.
Right.
Like, let's go. Let's do all of that.
I want to see Storm be very dramatic when she's using her powers because she's always like, winds, hear me, come to my aid. Like, I want to see that version of Storm on the screen.
Let's go. You're exactly right. Like, she should be like calling different kind of incantations for her powers. I love it.
Rains of the Serengeti, wash away these villains.
Man, they should have cast you as Storm, bro. You're killing it over here. I'm really impressed. Last but not least, we've got to discuss the big villain of this one, and Mike. I could not be happier. Not only did they cast my guy, Adam Driver, who I love, and I think is just another guy that's just like, this dude is... The movies that he's good in, he's great in, and that the movies that are good that he's in, the good ones are really good. He's been in some stinkers. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. There's some stinkers in there. But I do think that he is a very talented actor. To me, he was the best part easily of the Star Wars sequels. On top of that, he's playing Mr. Sinister. I'm very excited to see how they finally do this.
We talked a lot about that in the New Mutants. They were trying to lead up to Sinister. It's finally happening here. Not that they're going to tie into that movie at all. He's a fine actor. I think he could probably play a villain pretty well. I don't think he was really right for Star Wars, honestly.
Yeah, you may be right. Yeah.
Felt like when he takes the mask off, it's a little jarring, the first time that you see that happen. It's like, oh, that's what a villain looks like? Really? Like, okay, he's got this flowing, beautiful feathered hair underneath that mask. Like, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. But I do really like him. I thought he was really good in House of Gucci and especially really good in The Last Duel, if you haven't seen that.
Yeah, excellent movie.
Love that movie. So, yeah, Adam Driver, cool. He looks like, just looking at his picture on Google here, like he kind of looks like Mr. Sinister right off the bat with that mustache he's got rocking. So,
yeah.
But do we want to talk a little bit about Sadie Sink as well? You said lastly, but...
I'm willing to go there. I said it in our Brand New Day episode, and I'll say it again with my full breath. I think she has already established herself as the best Jean Grey on film.
That's shocking to me. And I'm actually wondering if maybe they're going to do something a little different because we're getting all these old versions of these characters coming up in Doomsday. We're getting James Marsden and Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Like, they're recognizing the old generation of these characters, and then they're also introducing a new version of these characters simultaneously in the same universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if maybe Sadie Sink is going to be playing maybe their daughter, Rachel Summers, something like that. Maybe Jean is a nickname that we just don't know about or something like that.
Interesting.
Like, she's young enough to be James Marsden's daughter, obviously. So they might do something a little different, like twist what we just saw in Brand New Day. But who knows? They've already introduced it. They don't want to confuse audiences more,
Yeah. And, like I said, the Sony thing, they're going to release their movies when they release them. So it doesn't necessarily correlate with the MCU timeline. And I think there may have been confirmation that technically the events of Spider-Man Brand New Day are actually post-Doomsday or something. I feel like I maybe heard something like that.
So Thunderbolts and Daredevil Born Again, present day, have us in 2027. So it's only a year after.
So there we go.
So we're pretty tight. But there is room for a Doomsday to happen in between, I guess.
Exactly. And on top of that, the whole 1 year later at the end of Thunderbolts, and then the Fantastic Four ship is coming. That's the most recent event in the MCU timeline, it seems like. So
yeah,
for Doomsday. So we'll see how it all shakes out. I think it's going to be very interesting, but I think they did a good job with the casting, and I'm really curious. They also have a great creative team, by the way. I don't know do you know who's doing it?
No.
They're bringing back Jake Schreier, who directed Thunderbolts.
Oh, great.
As the director. I think that's a good choice. Solid choice. The writers, at least one of them is, I'm forgetting his name right now, but the writer and creator of Beef. The guy that's behind Beef.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. If you haven't been watching Beef, you should watch Beef. Both seasons are excellent, I would say. First one maybe a little stronger, but they are both incredible. So it seems like they were assembling a good creative team behind the scenes as well. And as promised, we'll do a quick first reactions to Lanterns, at least the first episode, which premiered last Sunday on Max. Mike and I have talked about it. I'm personally not as big of a DC Comics guy as Marvel, so I don't know as much about Green Lantern. I'm not heavily invested in the lore. I couldn't have told you his oath, which most...
You don't know the oath?
I don't know it. Do you know it off the top of your head? Let's go. What is it?
Oh, man, you're putting me on the spot.
You got to do it.
In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light.
Hey, so yeah, Mike's a little more of a Lantern nerd than he just confirmed his bona fides. I thought it was good. Damon Lindelof, who is behind Lost, which is, I think, both of our favorite shows of all time.
It's up there for sure.
I mean,
top 5 easily.
Longtime heads know.
Very formulative to my
Yeah, we watched it together. We were neighbors. We were having parties. We had a Lost costume party. We talked about it. Yeah, we're big Lost guys. So Damon Lindelof is one of our beloveds. And Watchmen was incredible, I thought.
I thought so too, yeah.
Yeah, it's just phenomenal. I'm rewatching with my girlfriend. Shout out Sarah. But he co-created this one with a couple other guys, and I can't remember their names, and I'm not familiar with their sort of backgrounds, but it wasn't as strong as the Watchmen premiere. It was good. I didn't love it. I would, if we're going on our Superhero Cinemas Club scale, I would put it at good.
I thought it was fine. I like all the actors involved. Kyle Chandler is great. Aaron Pierre is great. I loved him in Rebel Ridge.
Great
movie.
Fire.
I love Kelly MacDonald. She's awesome.
Amazing actress.
I don't know his name, but the guy who plays the head of the militia that they go have dinner with.
Yeah, he's really good too. Yeah, great cast. Really, really good cast.
Really good cast. A little slow.
Yeah.
Not enough, power usage for my taste in a show about superheroes, but there was enough to kind of keep me intrigued, and for an hour-long TV show, I was like, yeah, it's fine. I'll try another episode when it comes out next week. So keep it going.
Yeah, I think there was good chemistry between the two of them. It definitely kind of leans into the formula of the grizzled veteran that's salty and the eager, ambitious young guy. We've seen that a bunch. So it's kind of all right, we've seen it. I also kind of felt like the time jump at the end. Time jumps used to be what? Oh my God. And this one, I was just okay, they're going to do this too. All right, fine. It didn't really blow me away. That was probably my most disappointing
part. It's not True Detective here, guys.
Yeah, exactly. It just was kind of and this is Lindelof too, right? He's done this in a bunch of his shows, This is one of his signature storytelling techniques, but didn't really land for me that much. But yeah, I'm compelled enough to keep going. And I will also give him the benefit of the doubt, because Watchmen was one of those shows where, I think the first episode hooked everyone that watched it and was literally put the Tulsa Massacre on the map, which is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
It couldn't do, it's already served its historical purpose by
Dude, I know
bringing
people who lived in Tulsa who were I didn't know about this.
A fucking disgrace that a comic book show had to be the one that kind of broke that ground for us. But so it was. So Watchmen actually changed the historical record with its premiere. So it's hard to live up to that. Over the course of its arc was a true, stick with it kind of show. And I'm thinking this will be the same, and I have confidence they'll land the ending too. And with that, we have come to our end of our special Watchtower episode.
Woo.
We'll be doing these from time to time, dropping them in, and if news come out and there's stuff to talk about, we're always happy to do it, and we really appreciate everybody for listening.
Yeah.
Be sure to follow us on our social media channels. We'll be having more social content in the break between our seasons, and we'll be back this fall with Junk Marvel. Very excited about that. We'll be talking about just the bad Marvel movies. No, I'm going to take that back. Bad, I don't know. We're going to revisit them, but not the most heralded Marvel movies, let's say. And these are all the pre-MCU movies. So we're going to be starting with 2003's Daredevil starring Ben Affleck. Mike, I ordered the director's cut on Blu-ray yesterday, my friend. The director's cut, which is supposed to be much better and was R-rated.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So we'll maybe have to compare notes on the two different versions, but
I remember that soundtrack was enormous. We'll talk about it when we get there, but
we will get there. We're excited. So join us next season for Junk Marvel and stick around. Be sure to follow and subscribe. We'll be here for you on our next episode of Superhero Cinema Club.
Superhero Cinema Club is hosted by Mark Schiff and me, Mike Carnes. Produced by Mark Schiff, editing by Mike Carnes. Original music provided by Chris Carnes. Find him on Spotify. Be sure to follow us on social media. You can find us at Superhero Cinema Club, and don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a review. Join us next time as we dive into another epic adventure from the world of superhero cinema.